You're watching Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. Lots to get into on today's show, including the latest on Kevin Durant coming up a little bit later on. He doubled down on his trade request to Nets ownership yesterday. We cover the latest coming out of Brooklyn, plus how that could impact the Mavericks directly or indirectly. So be sure to stay tuned as we get into that story coming up here in a moment. Starting today's episode of Mavericks Today, could Dallas trade for Jazz point guard Mike Conley? I think it's possible. Bleacher Report proposed a Mavs trade to go out and get Conley, and most of the Jazz roster remains available on the trade block as they appear to be going into a rebuild. Now, a lot of that could stem on what happens with Donovan Mitchell, as he certainly is still with the Jazz, and trading or keeping him could have a big impact on the clear direction they go in. But it has been pretty clear publicly that those players, Conley, Bogdanovich, some of those other pieces, are available for the right price. And let's be honest, Dallas desperately needs another point guard behind Luka Doncic and Spencer Dinwiddie. Here's the idea from Bleacher Report. Conley to the Mavs for Josh Green, Davis Bertans, and a 2025 first-round pick that would be lottery protected, so not just willy-nilly first-round pick, some protections there on this front. I think I would do this trade in a heartbeat, while understanding that Mike Conley is certainly past his prime, but Green and Bertans are not major contributors at this point in time. Maybe that changes with Green. Maybe Bertans bounces back, but they're not major contributors. And Mike Conley still brings a lot to the table. Here's just a few bullet points of what he offers. Steady point guard play. What does that mean? Doesn't turn the ball over. Smart decision maker. He is a floor general and has been his entire career. Good effort on defense. He used to be a premier defender. I won't say he's that now, but he's going to bring it on defense. He'll still hold his own on that side of the court. Three-point shooting, he can space the floor, shoot the three-point ball, and even when he's playing off ball, he can catch and shoot. You're not going to be hindered there. Selfless player. Listen, this is like the anti-Russell Westbrook, if you will. Doesn't need to be the star, doesn't need to have the focus on him. He will do whatever it takes to help the team out, and he's a veteran with experience both in the regular season and in the playoffs. He's played in a lot of big games, whether it was with the Jazz recently or with the Memphis Grizzlies on those grit and grind teams. He's been around the block for a while and played and won a bunch of big games and playoff series. Now you look at his last 4 years, like I said, you're not getting peak Mike Conley, but if you got the exact same numbers he gave the Jazz last year, anywhere close to that, 13, 14 points, 41% from three-point range, over 5 assists, I think we'd all take that for a player who would likely be kind of your sixth man type, come off the bench, especially with Dinwiddie starting. I would like this quite a bit. Now, again, let's be clear. This is not peak Mike Conley, but he can still play. Now, I know a lot of you guys are saying, God, he was horrible in that playoff series against the Mavs. Dallas cooked him. Yeah, he wasn't good in that 6-game series. I'll be the first to say that. He did not shoot the ball well. He didn't look good. He kind of looked like an old player, but that does happen. I remember us sitting here saying 4 years ago Chris Paul looked washed, and up until, again, the Mavs playoff series this year, he was arguably the best point guard at times in the NBA this year. So Mike Conley, I think, as a backup point guard, could still be an asset for this basketball team, and I think he's a player that's actually pretty gettable if the Mavs want to go and trade for him. So what do you think? We'll bring up Bleacher Report's trade idea one more time. Conley for Green, Bertans, and a first. Would you do this trade? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I think I would pull the trigger on this trade for Mike Conley. Let us know in the comments if you guys agree or disagree. Let's get into the Kevin Durant and Brooklyn Nets drama now, as Durant has doubled down. Shams Charania breaking the news yesterday that KD told the Nets owner to either trade him or fire both GM Sean Marks and head coach Steve Nash. Here's Shams' tweet. He said Durant informed Josiah, the owner of the Nets, that he does not have faith in the Nets' direction. The meeting was described as transparent and professional with a clear message, keep me or the GM and coach. By the way, the Nets GM, or the Nets owner, Cy, did tweet out saying they have full belief and faith in the front office and coaching staff, so it doesn't sound like they're going to fire those guys. I can't remember a situation like this where a player flat out told the owner, it's either me or the head coach and GM. I think Dwight Howard may have done something similar with the Magic back in the day, but it's a pretty rare situation, I would say. This does not happen often when it comes to a player publicly, this getting public, by the way, maybe behind the scenes it's happened. Hey, choose me or the coach and the GM. Sounds like the Nets are not going to go away from the GM and coach, so we'll see if that can be salvaged. But if KD's true to his word, sounds like he's either going to sit out this year or get traded. More on this situation and how it could impact the Mavs in a moment, but from one superstar to another, we got Luka Doncic t-shirts available for you guys. Got the Mavs logo on front, the Doncic and the 77 on the back, and you can pick one up today at chatsports.com/LukaT. That is chatsports.com/LukaT. Go check out this item at that link below. It's in the comments and the description. Click and shop today and represent Luka Doncic. Now, the favorites to land Durant per Shams are the Boston Celtics, Miami Heat, and Toronto Raptors. Boston probably has the most to offer with Jaylen Brown as a centerpiece. They've got other, quality, third-tier type of players, too, with Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, etc. They got a few pieces like that. Miami, a package could be interesting. How that comes together. Is Kyle Lowry enough to be a centerpiece? I don't know. Toronto Raptors have some interesting pieces. They're in the mix also, it appears. So those are the top three teams. Obviously, the Mavs aren't listed there, but this does impact Dallas. If KD gets traded, more dominoes fall. The next one being Kyrie. He would likely leave too. Report came out today that Kyrie does not believe in Sean Marks and Steve Nash either, which is ironic because KD and Kyrie basically picked Steve Nash. That's who they picked. Now, maybe they realized they picked the wrong guy, but you made a bed, you got to lay in it, in my opinion. Could be a third team in a trade. The Mavs could be. We've seen that before. They've played facilitator where, they don't get the star per se, but they could get a nice role player or two. Maybe draft pick compensation is involved, so that could be in the works as well. KD getting traded will bring another wave of the offseason. Could signal a Donovan Mitchell trade after that, Kyrie impact. More fallout will happen. I also think while there's a few decent free agents remaining unsigned because they want to see how this all unfolds. They don't want to commit somewhere and then all of a sudden, boom, 3 teams roster has completely changed because of a Durant trade. So I do think this will bring another wave of free agency and the trade market if Durant does indeed get traded. Subscribe to the channel because if any major Mavericks news or rumors drop or just major NBA stories that impact the Mavs, we'll have you covered. Some of our most recent videos did a trade rumors segment, including Jay Crowder. We caught you guys up on Luka's offseason. Yes, skinny Luka. Go check that one out, and plus just the latest news and rumors as well. We've actually talked to Mike Conley before here on this channel. You would have known that if you had subscribed. So hit that big red button, turn on those notifications. That way you never miss a video here on Dallas Mavericks Today. Would you roll the dice on Kyrie Irving? If Durant gets traded, good chance Kyrie does as well, as he apparently is not a believer in the Nets brass at this point in time. Now, obviously with Irving, he's very unreliable for a variety of reasons, has been his entire career. His 3 years in Brooklyn, he missed 52 games, 18 games, and 53 games. The 18's not bad, but that was a 72-game season. You're still talking about a quarter of the year that he missed, and that was by far the most available he's been in a 3-year stretch since signing with the Brooklyn Nets. He's a hell of a talent. We know that. I mean, he's going to give you 25 plus per game, over 5 assists per game, and shoot 40+% from 3, slice and dice to the basket. No one's ever questioned his ability as a basketball player, but he's been a questionable teammate at best, and he's been unavailable more often than not, especially over the last few years. I just don't really want anything to do with Kyrie Irving. Now, if it happened, I'm sure I'd find a way to talk myself into it, but I just don't think he can be trusted. Plus, I don't know how the fit works with Luka, to be honest. They both like having the ball in their hands. Now, I would like to think that 2 superstars could make it work, but KD and Kyrie haven't had a ton of success. Yeah, it's been flashy and fun at times, but has it really translating to winning at a high level? No, it really hasn't between those two. So in all reality, I just don't really want anything to do with Kyrie Irving. Now pick a point guard. Who would you rather have? And yes, factor in trade compensation here. Type KI for Kyrie Irving. Type MC for Mike Conley. Who would you rather have on the Mavericks roster? I'd probably just go cheaper, get Conley as the backup point guard and go that route, but let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. KI for Irving or MC for Conley.